If people are booking calls with you and then not showing up, it's not because they didn't get the Calendly reminder. They got 5 of them. The problem is they don't know why they should actually care. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you the exact framework that took my no-shows to 2% and how this same principle will not only get people to show up, but also get them to close. And this isn't just some theoretical marketing fluff. This is something that I actually built and implemented at my 9-to-5 when I was working for the installation company. We're talking about real data, real results. If you want to land your first or next AI client, you can take part in the 4-week challenge inside my free school community of like-minded people, where you will find a free course that's honestly better than most paid courses out there, and you'll get direct one-on-one access to me for whatever questions you may have. The link is down below. All right, so let's dive in. Here's the thing that most people don't understand about no-shows. When someone books a call with you and then ghosts, doesn't respond to your texts, doesn't show up, they're not just forgetful. They're not bad people. They're just not bought in yet. And I get it. You finally get a lead. You do all the work and get them to book a call. You're sitting there on Zoom, camera on, ready to go. And then they just don't show. And then you feel like an idiot. You wonder if your whole approach is broken. You start questioning everything. Maybe your offer isn't good enough. Maybe your marketing is off. Or maybe you're just not cut out for this. But here's what's actually happening. The lead booked the call because they were curious. Maybe they saw your ad. Maybe they found you through a referral. Maybe they clicked a link somewhere. But in that moment, they didn't really understand the value of what you're offering. They were curious enough to click a button, but not committed enough to actually prioritize showing up. And the difference between a lead who's just curious and a lead who shows up ready to buy comes down to one thing. And I'll explain exactly what that is. But first, let me tell you about something called the 7-hour rule. The concept comes from a guy named Ravi Abuvala. He runs a company called Scaling with Systems, insanely successful business. And one of the things that he talks about is this idea of the 7-hour rule. So here's how it works. If someone is exposed to 7 hours of high-value content from you before they ever get on a call with you, they're exponentially more likely to show up, trust you, and then buy from you. Now I know what you're thinking. 7 hours? That's insane. No one's gonna consume 7 hours of my content. And look, it doesn't have to be 7 hours of one YouTube video. It can be a combination of things. Short form content, YouTube videos, blog posts, emails, podcasts, case studies, testimonials. All of it adds up. Someone watches 3 of your 10-minute videos, reads a couple of your LinkedIn posts, watches a few of your reels. That all counts towards the 7 hours. But here's the key insight, and this is the most important thing that I'm going to say in this section. The reason why people don't show up to your calls isn't because they forgot. It's because they don't understand the value of the call. They don't know you, they don't trust you. You're just some random person on the internet asking for 30 minutes of their time. Think about it this way. If a complete stranger walked up to you on the street and said, "Hey, I can help solve a really big problem in your business. Get on a call with me tomorrow at 2 p.m. Would you show up? Probably not. You'd be skeptical. You'd wonder what the catch is. You'd probably forget about it by the time you got home. But what if that same person was someone you've been following for months? You've watched their videos. You've seen their case studies. You've heard testimonials from people that they've helped. You've seen them walk through their process. You feel like you know them, like you've already had a dozen conversations with them, even though you've never actually spoken. Now if they say, "Let's get on a call," then you're actually showing up. You're probably showing up early. You might even be nervous because you want to make a good impression on them. And that's the difference. And the only thing separating a cold lead from a red hot lead is education. And that's it. And education happens through content. The more someone knows about you, your process, your results, the more they trust you. And the more they trust you, the more likely they are to show up and buy. Now here's where this gets practical. One of the most valuable long-term assets that you can build in your consulting business is digital real estate. And the best place to build that digital real estate is on YouTube. I know, you've heard people say start a YouTube channel probably a million times. But let me reframe this for you because most people think about it wrong. A lot of people say, why would I make YouTube videos? No one's gonna watch them. I don't have an audience. I'm not some big influencer. I'm just getting started. And honestly, that's the wrong way to think about it. So here's the shift. Even if you have a tiny audience, like literally 50 subscribers, your YouTube channel still has massive value because it's not just a place to get views. It's not about going viral or building a massive following. It's a repository of proof. It's a library of thought leadership. It's a collection of demos and case studies that you can share with prospects whenever you're talking to them. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say you're having a conversation with a potential client. They run a staffing agency, and you've built a database reactivation workflow before, pulled dormant leads from a CRM, sent them a re-engagement email sequence, and generated $30,000 in recovered revenue for your client. Instead of just telling them about it, you can say, actually, I built this exact thing for another client. Here, let me send you a video where I walk through the exact process and show you the results. And then you send them a YouTube video that you recorded 3 months ago. You're not just some random consultant making claims. You're someone with proof, with demonstrated expertise, with receipts. They can see your face, hear your voice, watch you walk through the exact system. They can see that you actually know what you're talking about. And that one video just bought you hours of credibility in their mind. It moved them from cold to warm in a matter of minutes. This is why I tell my coaching clients all the time, even if you think no one is watching your videos, they have value because you can send them directly to prospects. You can use them in your sales conversations. You can include them in your follow-up sequences. The views on your channel are almost irrelevant compared to the strategic value of having that content available to share. Okay, so let me tell you about a time that I actually implemented this before I was even doing consulting full-time. When I was working at the installation company, we had a sales team that would go to people's homes and do attic inspections. So the homeowner would book an appointment, and then our sales manager would drive out there, do the inspection, and give them a quote. And we had a problem. About 5% of the time, people would book the inspection and then just not be there whenever our sales manager showed up for the appointment. They'd forget. They would get busy. They'd schedule something else. Just whatever the reason, they weren't there. Now, 5% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're paying for marketing to get those leads, and you're paying your sales team to drive out there, and you're burning gas and time on appointments that don't even happen, those no-shows add up fast. That's just money walking out the door. So I built an automation. 1 hour before the scheduled appointment, the system would automatically send the homeowner a video. It was an 11-minute video from the owner of the company, explaining how air leakage happens in a house, how holes, gaps, and cracks in the attic allow conditioned air to escape, how that affects their energy bill and the home's comfort, and how attic insulation and air sealing could fix those issues. It wasn't a sales pitch, it was educational. It helped them understand why this inspection mattered and what they would learn from it. And here's what happened. We took our no-show rate from 5% to literally 0. We never had another no-show after implementing that automation, not one. But that's not even the best part. Our close rate went up too, because now by the time the sales manager actually walked through the door, the homeowner actually understood what we were doing and why it was important. They'd already been educated. They'd watched 11 minutes of content from the company. They felt like they knew the owner. They understood the problem and the solution before the conversation even started. So when the sales manager walked in, he wasn't starting from scratch. He wasn't explaining the basics of how insulation works. He wasn't building trust from zero. He was building on a foundation that was already there because of that video. That's the power of content. It does the heavy lifting for you before you even get on the call. Okay, so here's how to actually apply this to your business. First, start creating content. I don't care if it's YouTube, LinkedIn posts, short form videos, whatever. Just start documenting the work that you're doing. Every time you build something for a client or even just yourself, record a walkthrough. Explain what problem it solves. Show it actually working. Talk about the impact. It doesn't have to be fancy. A screen recording with you talking over it is completely fine. And look, it definitely doesn't have to be perfect. My early videos were rough. Bad camera quality, terrible editing, lots of ums and ahs and pauses. But the actual content itself was valuable. The actual information, and that's what matters. People will forgive rough production quality if what you're talking about is actually valuable. Second, build a warm-up sequence. When someone books a call with you, what happens between the booking and the call? If the answer is nothing but Calendly reminders, then that's a problem. You need to be sending them content to consume, a case study showing results that you've achieved, a testimonial from a happy client, an expectation video where you talk about what they can expect to get from the call, what you'll be discussing, and how to prepare. A demo of something you built that's relevant to their situation. Anything that helps them to understand why this call is worthy of their time. Because here's the truth, Calendly is not going to convince someone to show up. Calendly just tells them when the call is. It doesn't tell them why they should care. It doesn't build trust. It doesn't educate them. That's your job, and content is how you do that. Third, use your content as a sales tool. Whenever you're in a conversation with a potential client, whether it's DMs, email, a networking call, whatever, and they ask about your experience or what you've built, send them a video. Don't just describe it, show them. Actually, I built something similar for a client just last month. Here's a video where I walk through the whole thing and explain the results that we got. That one sentence does more for your credibility than anything else you could say. It moves you from random person making claims to proven expert with receipts. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Lindsay, I don't have time to create content. I'm too busy trying to land clients. I'm still figuring out my offer. I barely have enough time to do the work that I already have. And I hear you, I really do. But here's the thing. The content that you create now pays dividends forever. The video that you record today will still be working for you a year from now. It'll still be building trust with prospects that haven't found you yet. It's not a one-time expense of your time. It's an investment that compounds. When I was making $50,000 a year at that insulation company, drowning in debt, checking my bank account before buying anything, I didn't have time either. I was exhausted. I was stressed. I had a million reasons to put it off, but I started creating content anyway. And that content is part of what got me to where I am now, working with clients I actually enjoy and building a business that gives me freedom. So yes, it does take time, but the alternative is staying stuck in this cycle where leads book calls, don't show up, don't close, and you keep wondering what's wrong. You keep blaming your offer, your niche, your marketing, when the real issue is people just don't know you yet. The answer is content. The answer is education. The answer is giving people a reason to trust you before they even get on that call. All right, so let's bring this all together. The reason why people aren't showing up for your calls isn't because they forgot. They got the reminders. The problem is they just don't understand the value yet. They don't know you. They don't trust you. You're just another stranger asking them for their time. And that's why the 7-hour rule matters so much. When someone has consumed hours of your content, when they've seen your case studies, your demos, your thought leadership, then they'll show up. And they show up ready to buy. They show up having already decided that they want to work with you. So here's what you do. Start thinking of your YouTube channel or whatever platform that you're on as a library of proof. Every video that you create is another asset that you can use to warm up leads and build trust. And between the booking and the call, send them something to watch. A case study, a demo, an expectation video, something that helps them understand why this call is important and what they're gonna get out of it. Do that and you'll see your no-show rate drop. You'll see your close rate go up. And you'll finally stop feeling like you're wasting time on calls that go nowhere. If you want to land your first or next AI client, you can take part in the 4-week challenge inside of my free school community of like-minded people, where you will find a free course that's honestly better than most paid courses out there, and you'll get direct one-on-one access to me for whatever questions you may have. The link is down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.